The Houston Texans have reached their burn the boats era, at least for the 2025 campaign. I'll explain what the hell that means. An old friend had another meltdown. We've seen him do this a few times. And perhaps a dive into the world of politics. I'm Paul Gallant, and this is the Gallant Says podcast. Hit it.
A radio show host in Seattle called Paul Gallant.
Paul Gallant's wondering the same things a lot of people are.
You are definitely living in the hindsight world today, Paul.
Do you feel there's been a consistent theme with the interceptions?
I think every interception really has a different story.
I was just kind of curious what Paul gets to see.
You got f***ing grow, mother. Are you kidding me?
Paul Gallant, what the hell is wrong with you?
Oi! Welcome aboard the Gallant Says podcast. It is Thursday, November 6th, 2025. Live on YouTube at Paul Gallant, on Twitch at Gallant Says, X and Twitter at Gallant Says Pod, Instagram at Sports Gallant, TikTok at Gallant Says, and on Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. We do this thing weekdays, generally around noon Central Time. Paul, it hasn't been noon Central Time in a really long time. You're starting around 12:30 a lot of times. Fuck off! I don't give a shit, okay? This show's good. If you want the extra content in the show, you gotta stick around for it. Paul, why are you yelling at me? It's just like my dad back when I was a kid. I know, I'm sorry, okay? Sometimes I just get worked up and yell like I'm Samuel L. Jackson when I speak. You can listen to this show after the fact wherever you get your podcasts as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you want to cut me off mid-thought, super chat me on YouTube or Twitch and I'll play this. But I will eventually get to your comments, which you can also leave the old-fashioned way by calling 281-836-3912. Leave a voicemail or sending me an email. gallantsays@gmail.com. So, in addition to doing nothing at the NFL trade deadline, the Texans are doing something that I know is driving a lot of people crazy. What am I talking about? Well, let's go to yesterday's Houston Texans press conference where DeMeco Ryans was asked this question about the offense by my guy, one of my old co-hosts from my sports radio 610 days, and maybe a co-host in the near future. Sean Pajani asked DeMeco this.
Coach, can you take us through how your involvement this season has kind of evolved in the offense from day to day and on game day?
Yeah, for me, as a head coach, I've been involved in all phases of our team, whether it's defense, offense, special teams, is being able to lean and give my advice where needed. So just trying to help everybody out. At the end of the day, everything falls on me. You know, what we're doing, everything is offense, defense, special teams, all falls on me as the head coach. So, you know, we've done a good job. You know, collectively, I've been able to help out in a lot of different areas. But overall, you know, we've dropped some games I feel like we should have had that we just got to go out. We got to coach better. We got to play better, all starting with me.
Starts with me, and then he puts the tongue out, as he does, Michael Jordan style. The way he answered that question, he makes it seem like this is something he's always been doing. But he's definitely more hands-on with the offense this season than he's been in years past, and that's something that started in training camp, and it continued into the preseason. And you want that. You want a coach that isn't just focusing on one side of the football. It's not to say that you want DeMeco Ryans calling plays or something like that, but I like that this offseason, given his defense is already as awesome as it is, he spent a little more time with the offense. Has that changed things for the offense? Obviously not. You got a first-time play caller in Nick Caley. You got a first-time offensive line coach in Cole Popovich. You don't have Stephon Diggs. You don't have Tank Dell. Diggs is looking great with the New England Patriots. Dell probably not playing this season. Certainly have heard nothing new on that front. Joe Mixon's out. Entirely new offensive line, which led me to think that this is going to be a process this year offensively. But we haven't seen any progress really offensively. If you want to count the first quarter before C.J. Stroud's brains got scrambled by the Denver Broncos, okay, I'll actually allow it. I will. Didn't look bad. But then he got his brain scrambled. And obviously Davis Mills comes in, and the game completely changes for the Texans. D'Amico's given you the general coach speak with that answer about how his role has changed with the offense. But then Will Kunkel, kicking it with Kunkel, asked this slightly more pointed question about Texans offensive coordinator Nick Caley.
On that front, you still feel confident in Nick and turning the corner and finding that game plan that you want and having him play call plays this weekend?
We all got to do better. It's all encompassing. It's not one person. It's not one coach. It's everybody collectively involved in this together. We got to do a better job.
Cliche answer to a politely worded question. But Will wasn't done. And Will got a little more pointed towards the end of the press conference. And just like the Texans did nothing at the trade deadline, I am sure there are a lot of people in this fan base that were pissed when they heard this.
For another repeater, will Nick call plays this weekend?
Why would he not call plays?
Why would he not call plays? I mean, how does that answer not piss you off even a little bit if you're someone who's been watching this team? And that's not to say that changing play callers at this point in the year would work. It's more the way he answered it. And it goes back to the thing that I've been complaining about for the last year and a half. It's that D'Amico gaslights you into thinking everything's okay with the offense. But now there's enough of a sample size where you look at the offense and you're like, ugh, this is disgusting. Now, again, I want to repeat, I don't think that changing play callers makes anything different. I just think D'Amico's got to answer that question a little bit better in that spot. And he doesn't care about what we say. At least he says that. And he doesn't care about what the fans say. At least he says that. So this is not at the top of his list of things to give a shit about. But you got to answer that differently. Whatever the case, between the lack of action at the trade deadline and saying, hey, we're rolling forward with our offensive coordinator, Nick Caley, why would anyone else call the plays? The Texans are burning the boats. See the thumbnail on YouTube that I spent a lot of time making? You see D'Amico Ryans, you see a chat box saying burn the boats, which he didn't say at the press conference. And then you see this very handsome man, one of the most interesting people in the history of the world, probably a bit of an asshole, if not worse, but you see Hernando Cortez. Hernando Cortez, you might know, is the Spanish conquistador who led the Spanish armies with allies from all over the general area that they were invading, colonizing, settling, whatever you want to say. Before all that happened, there's this legend, this story, this myth, where Hernando, scuttled and burned all of the ships that the Spanish took from Spain to Mexico to eliminate any possibility of retreat for his soldiers. This act forced his men to commit fully to conquering the Aztec Empire. Victory or death. Burn the boats has now become a phrase that is used constantly. Cortez didn't literally burn them, but whenever you hear burn the boats, that's what they're talking about. About the Spanish expedition in 1519 to prevent retreat to Cuba. They weren't going all the way back to Spain, to make sure that they were absolutely committed to the conquest. They eventually did obviously conquer the Aztec Empire. Got a lot of help from a lot of natives that were under the thumb of the Aztecs. The human sacrifice thing frowned upon by some, among others. They get taken down. Yada, yada, yada. You know? But that's what it seems the Houston Texans are doing. The boats have been burned. Here's the problem. The boat's really well done. It was already pretty burnt. I don't know how many people saw the injury report for the Houston Texans from yesterday, with the knowledge that C.J. Stroud will not play Sunday against the Jaguars. Jalen Petrie didn't practice with a concussion. C.J. Stroud didn't practice with a concussion. You all know that he's out. Kaimi Fairbairn did not practice with a right quad injury. He's out. Braxton Berrios, chest injury, limited. I think a lot of Texans fans don't want to see him. Nick Chubb didn't practice with a foot injury. D'Amico Ryans was asked about his status, vague, at the press conference yesterday. Christian Harris did not practice with a shin injury. I honestly didn't know he was back. Will Anderson didn't practice with a quad injury. Ed Ingram didn't practice with a knee injury. Titus Howard didn't practice with a concussion. Harrison Bryant didn't practice with a shoulder injury. Backup tight end. Danico Autry, who had the block kick against the Broncos and has been great in limited snaps, didn't practice with a knee injury. And then you got some guys who are limited. Dalton Schultz. I mean, they are unbelievably banged up. So, no acquisitions at the trade deadline, which I'm not mad about. No changes when it comes to play caller. And an army that is sorely lacking if we're making the Hernando Cortez comparison. And this goes back to people being pissed off about the Texans not doing anything at the trade deadline. It's not like they didn't try to make a trade. I want to make that clear. D'Amico Ryans was asked about that at yesterday's press conference. Here is what the head coach of your Houston Texans had to say about the lack of trades made by Nick Caserio and company.
Look, when it comes to the trade deadline, it's because a transaction did not happen. It's not from a lack of effort. Of course, we tried to do several things, it just didn't pan out.
They tried to do things, didn't pan out. Very curious about what those attempts might have been, but lots of people are mad. I'm seeing all of the Texans content creators getting pissy. They're already mad that they didn't get invited into the suite that I showed you the video from yesterday. I think just about every Texans content creator has bitched about, like, who the fuck are these people? Which is a fair bitch to make, but I don't know if you guys are getting invited. Like, they know that they've got you by the balls. You're going to keep watching, and you're going to keep talking about the team. They're trying to get people that aren't really that into the Houston Texans, given that we all know this is a team that doesn't exactly capture the interest of this city in a way that most NFL teams can. It's a bandwagon sports town, and I actually like that about us. There's no judgment made there. We care about things that are good. If they aren't good, whatever. Paul, that makes it sound like Los Angeles. Yes. But I'm cool with it. You should be cool with it too. Accept who you are. I'm trying to be better about that. I'm 36 years old. I still beat the shit out of myself over very small things over and over and over again. My wonderful girlfriend constantly tells me, hey, you don't need to do that. I do it anyway. I do it anyway. I just beat the shit out of myself. But I'm self-aware at the very least, and we should be self-aware as a sports town. We don't give a shit when the team sucks. And the Texans have been pissing us off for years and years and years, and now people are getting to the point of apathy. You see how many Broncos fans were there at the game on Sunday? I told you that would happen. See how many 49ers fans were there on Sunday before that? I told you that would happen. I did. Paul Stradamus here predicting the future. But lots of Texans content creators are mad that there wasn't a move made. Look at this one. This is at Jeremy Beadling. If Texans fans don't see Joe Mixon for the rest of this season, Nick Caserio has failed this team, city, and fan base. Breece Hall should be a Texan today. Look at that. That blew up. 1.3 thousand likes. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little jealous. I should just throw shit out there all the time. Like hyperbolistic takes to show my frustration, and also glazy takes too. And then keep people guessing. Just constantly keep people guessing and hope that they won't check my timeline for takes that maybe age poorly, like that of Texans Jacob. But it's fine. I love all these guys. You know, do you get paid? Get paid. If I could get paid, I would get paid. I would. You think I wouldn't do that solitaire app that all of a sudden everyone at ESPN's promoting? Oh, I would take that money and run. You think I give a shit? I would take diaper money right now. I'm an unemployed man that sometimes does things with Sports Radio 610, doing a podcast at noon. Okay? So I just want to tell all these content creators I do care about them, but they're frustrated about a lot of things. And here's the thing. The Texans marketing team's kind of wild right now. They're kind of wild. You saw that video that they posted, no moves made at the trade deadline. You might have seen them post this. I mean, oh my God. Why are the Texans posting Graham Ertz highlights at practice? Graham Ertz, that's the third string quarterback. Are we going to see Graham Ertz on Sunday? Gator legend Graham Ertz. Here's the caption. Not done yet. What the fuck? Hey, Stroud's out. Why are we posting the third string quarterback? This marketing team is crazy. And here's the craziest thing that they've done. In addition to those political ads that you saw on yesterday's show, where they are greenlighting attack ads that I guess Texans super PACs are funding, Texan fan super PACs. Well, actually, Nick Caserio, who now has a mustache, decided to post this video yesterday. I don't know what the Texans marketing team is doing, but take a look for yourself, everybody. Texans fans are planning to get rid of your favorite expatriates, including me, Nick Caserio. They're saying that I should have been a buyer at the NFL trade deadline. They're also saying I should have been a seller at the NFL trade deadline. I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't need to do shit. I've been waiting a long time for CJ Stroud to turn into Tom Brady. I shouldn't need to fucking do anything. Texans fans think I'm some dumb Italian who doesn't even know how to make an offer that other people can't refuse. That I'm nothing without Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and are laughing at my taste in offensive linemen. They even questioned me about it at a dinner.
The offensive line is protecting Stroud. Poor thing is just running for his life. But your first picks wasn't an offensive lineman. Please explain.
For D'Amico and I, we're not concerned about it. So if we're not concerned about it, you guys certainly shouldn't be concerned about it either.
I'm done. Do what you want. Pull the plug. I'll kill you. It's pretty aggressive by Nick Caserio there. No? A little aggressive. But they've burned the boats. They're all in. And they're doing crazy things to get your attention. Absolutely crazy things. If you didn't see the attack ads from earlier in the week, I did post them to all my socials. Like this video, subscribe on YouTube. But it's on YouTube. It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. TikTok at Gallant Says. Instagram at Sports Gallant. It's on X at Gallant Says, at Gallant Says Pod. Follow, like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. The boats have been burned. Texans didn't do anything at the trade deadline. Texans are rolling forward with Nick Caley as their offensive coordinator. One clip to play before we get to some of the things that you are saying. I've never related to a comment more than I did with this one. This is Bills GM Brandon Beane, who was asked about all the NFL trades at the deadline and perhaps the Bills' lack of activity on that front.
And I think there's definitely a faction of, the GMs are coming in younger, and there's more have played true fantasy football and stuff like that, and they're growing up in the world of trades. And I think
there's a lot of fantasy footballers, there's a lot of Maddeners, and a lot of those people are in the content creation game. And you're looking at the NFL trade deadline like it's baseball's trade deadline. More trades happen at baseball's trade deadline. I get that you wanted the Texans to do something. They're in a weird spot, though. You're 3-5. I don't think you sell at 3-5. You could easily win the next two games, and then you got that Thursday night game against the Bills. I don't think you buy at 3-5 either. What are you giving up? What are you getting? Is an offensive lineman going to fix the offense? Like one offensive lineman? Is a running back going to fix the offense? Probably not. So I would just say relax, everybody. Let's get to some of your comments here. Avi Lieberman asks this. On Instagram, Paul is the greatest baseball mind in Houston. Do you think the Texans made a mistake by doing nothing before the trade deadline? Talked about this on yesterday's show. I don't really think that they made a mistake not doing anything. I don't think they needed to do anything. I think really your hope is that the offense gets better by the end of the year. Is adding an offensive lineman going to help? Only one offensive lineman got traded, Trevor Penning, to the Chargers, and the Chargers have already lost their two starting tackles, their left tackle and their right tackle. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. You're the only other team that has traded an offensive lineman. You traded Cam Robinson. If offensive linemen were easy to get, people would have made trades at the deadline. But, I mean, what are you giving up? The guy's got to learn a new offense, got to learn how to play with these other offensive linemen. That's not making excuses. It's just saying that bringing in an offensive lineman wasn't going to fix the Texans at the trade deadline. Bringing in a running back would have helped, just given where the running back situation is now. We don't know what the fuck is going on with Joe Mixon, to continue Avi Lieberman's question. I have no idea when Mixon's going to be back. I doubt he will be back. That's where I'm at. I don't think he's going to be back this year, and hell, this might be his last season with the Texans, even though he does seem engaged on social media. Nick Chubb is banged up. Does that mean more Woody Marks? Does that mean Woody Marks will actually play well, too? Does that mean more Dari Ogunbowale, which none of us want to see? They're in a tough spot. Doesn't seem like Dameon Pierce is going to be on the field anytime soon. They're in a tricky spot. Maybe they should have gotten a running back. Could they have gotten a running back? I'm sure. There's probably one there. But is Breece Hall saving the Texans season? I don't know about that. Some comments on the TikTok side of things. How about those Rockets? That was a nice win. Kevin Durant's talking shit on the court side. Middle J says, I think most Texans fans are crazy for not wanting to make moves at the deadline. It just doesn't happen, though. I don't know. I hate hypothetical trades, so I'm not the show to come to for a hypothetical trade suggestion for the Texans at the trade deadline, you know? Junior Broncos thinks the Texans should have been seller. Who and what are we going to sell? We have the best defense in the league. Junior Broncos, I think, suggested Danielle Hunter. There's really only two players the Texans could have sold and gotten something good in return for. It would have been Nico Collins and it would have been Danielle Hunter. Derek Stingley, I suppose, too, if you want to get a Sauce Gardner kind of haul. But no, you keep the defense as is, and you hope that the offense can get better by the end of the year, or it's better next year. I don't think that the playoffs are already lost, but they are in a tough spot. They are in a really tough spot. Thad Pittman says, I hope the stash isn't impeding the job hunt. I got to say, I have not been as aggressive as I need to be probably on the job searching front, but we'll keep you posted. A lot of people are saying we should have gotten Breece. CJ Stroud isn't him. Paul needs some sun. Yep, I know. There you go. User 410-409-005-4354 says we need Florida High School Paul this week. Yeah, I did average nearly 10 yards a carry for what it's worth back in the day. Anyway, what do we got on the YouTube and Twitch side of things? Not Santa jokes. When Paul says the show starts around noon, he's referring to the Mountain Time Zone. Yeah. Listen, I try to get it started on time. The fact that I'm doing it every day should be enough for you people. You people. And we might be doing it, by the way, next week, 7 a.m., because I'm about to go out of town again. I will be, can say this right now, on KHOU, Channel 11 on Sunday night. I will keep the stash, the flavor saver. It's No Shave November, cancer awareness. Get yourself checked up. My pops had it. He survived, but now his mustache grows all funky because he got a lot of radiation right here. So he doesn't grow it anymore. He used to have a mustache when I was a little kid. So that's why I have the mustache right now. I'm loving the lettuce in the back. The girlfriend likes the hair. The girlfriend actually likes the mustache. That is a surprise development. But anyway, we'll be on Channel 11 for Sports Extra Sunday night at 10. And I'm going to be on 610 on Monday from 2 to 6 with Ron Hughley. I'll be filling in for Clint Sterner. So I will be on the air Monday afternoon on a Reaction Monday. What other comments do we have? Josh the Grat says, as a Patriots fan, it's a shame Jacoby Brissett got the Cardinals to fall for the fool's gold, all that smoke and mirrors. It does seem like the Cardinals are going to move on from Kyler Murray this offseason. Tay Hill says, we're hearing the same old from the Texans. Yeah, it do be like that. Texas Tags is hoping that Gary Kubiak can get an office and a headset. Yeah. That would be nice to bring Gary Kubiak back into the fold. Or maybe our guy Bill O'Brien, who we'll get to in a moment. Kuglaze asks if the Texans hired the Astros trainers. I mean, it is a violent game, but could be. It could be them. Greg Todd says Paul is spoiled sports-wise. Oh, I'm so spoiled. I have such a pants tent over the Patriots being good again. I know they played no one, but I mean, yeah. I'm very excited about that. PCX 2500U says, should the Texans just hire a proven play caller after the year? McDaniels, if he gets fired from Miami. I mean, if he's available, sure. And there's obviously that tie. I do think that the next move that's made is going to be made by D'Amico. And Nick Caserio's talked about collaboration, but this is his guy. I mean, he went to John Carroll, Patriots ties. The next guy is going to be D'Amico's guy. And it does feel like the Dolphins are going to can Mike McDaniel at the end of the year. Greg Todd says it's part of the joke that the sound is off from your lips. I don't know what that means. Hopefully things are not lagging too much. It does seem like on today's show I have more dropped frames than I normally do. So I guess the internet's not performing like it normally does today. So apologize for that. Texas Tags. Shout out for the $4.99 because I lost my EBT. Isn't it called a snap card? I appreciate that. I could maybe buy a can of Pringles with that. Big DQ says season down the drain. I don't think it's done quite yet. HCX Rhino says, are you saying Steak Girl likes mustache rides? No comment. Only she can answer that. You know? But apparently it's not annoying when we make out. I think. Right? Right, baby? I know you watch. What else do we have here? Big Orange Network says they need to bring back Rick Smith to the front office. For those who remember, when Rick Smith had his press conference to announce he was leaving the Texans, he said it was a comma, not a period. That would be pretty funny if he came back. Josh McCown as offensive coordinator. Yeah, it could work, maybe. 713 Football says, why would McDaniel come here, deal with an ass quarterback who throws the offensive coordinator under the bus while he's trying to rebuild himself? He's obviously cool with Slowick. That's true. Slowick is on the Dolphins staff. I'm not calling CJ Stroud ass. Stroud did look good against the 49ers, and the offense was moving the football in the first quarter against the Broncos, who are a very good defense. More comments. Junior Broncos always gotta double check with you, bro. Who is Taylor Mauser? I don't even know who that is. Offensive coordinator for Iowa State. You know what? That actually might be something they do, given that they have 3 wide receivers from Iowa State. Avila J3 says, Paul, I think Nick Caserio knows the season is done. That's why I didn't want to waste trade capital. If I were Len, says this season is done. We can't score touchdowns. I'll still be a fan watching on Sundays, but they haven't shown me nothing to tell me this season is not done. A lot of people think it's over. I don't blame you. I don't want to watch on Sunday, but I have to now because I'm doing TV Sunday night and I'm doing radio on Monday. I want to watch Patriots Bucks. It got even the number one call. There's Nance and Romo on that. I can't remember the last time the Patriots got that kind of respect from CBS or from Fox, you know? Vila J3 asks about, I think you're talking about Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator. Where is Eric Bieniemy right now? I actually don't even know. Eric Bieniemy is running backs coach for the Bears. Yeah, I think the Bieniemy coordinator route is an option, but from the sound of things, he seems to be rather confrontational with his coaching style. Is that going to work here? I don't know. More comments. Big Ball Squad asks, Paul, when are you going to post a video of me and Ross? The video has the absolute worst echo on it to the point where it is unwatchable and unlistenable in my opinion. I did post some clips from the interview that we did. There's some other clips that I'll probably post in the future. It sucks. I'm really bummed out that the videos got screwed up. I really am bummed out about it because we had a great conversation about stuff. That was supposed to be Thursday's episode last week, and Friday was going to be the episode with Seth. Tomorrow's episode is going to feature Sean Pendergast. Pre-recorded that already. Hopefully no technical difficulties in the near future. Ian Lindblom says, beating Indy twice gets the Texans back in. That's right. They haven't played the Colts yet. Happy Mills still has a job. Mills is, I think, the second highest paid backup quarterback in the league. 713 says Stroud's ass against any team with a pass rush. Pure ass like that mustache, Paul. Hey, this mustache is great. A lot of people can't grow a mustache this powerful. This is like 3 weeks of work, baby. Greg Todd says, ask my boy Mapes for help on video stuff. No, I'd have to pay Sean. I'm not going to ask Sean to do that for free. Ian Lindblom asks if I can get Ryan Rocket on. Yeah, that's probably could happen at some point. Texas Tag says, can't you go live on Twitch with the games on? That'll be cool to stream at your house during games. I do that. Gosh. Junior Broncos, if you were betting your own money, do the Texans make the playoffs? Well, I hate gambling my own money, so that's tricky. What are the Texans' odds to make playoffs? 26 to 31% chance. Plus 250. I still have a tough time buying into the Colts. Let's see how the Colts do this week. Who are they playing? Paul, you're so out of the loop. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. They're playing the Falcons. All right, so they're going to win that game. But it's in Berlin. It's in formerly Nazi Germany. Very interesting. I think the tricky thing is going to be, can you win those games against Indianapolis? You're playing for a wild card position right now, and as things currently stand, you are the 9 seed. You have the tiebreaker over Baltimore, which could be key because the Ravens' schedule looks pretty favorable the rest of the way. Chiefs are the 8 seed at 5-4. You win this game, you're a game back of the Jaguars, and at the very least, killed their complete tiebreaker over you. The Chargers are definitely in a delicate spot given their tackle situation. So you're looking to overtake either the Chargers or the Jaguars. Maybe Pittsburgh, too. I'm not that sold on Pittsburgh. I would bet money on the Texans to make the playoffs, but I'm not betting on them to win the AFC South. Shout out to 713 chat, 713 football for the super chat. There you go. Trey of Texas asks, if Mills goes bananas this weekend with that crazy neck, would he become the throat goat? Well, I've heard that Nancy Reagan was, but I suppose the title is unclaimed at this moment in time because she's no longer with us. At least that's what I understand. A couple other things I wanted to get to before we hit the road. How many people saw the latest Bill O'Brien blow up with the liberal sports media? This is iconic. Mike Gualtieri, who is a sports play-by-play broadcaster and host based in New England, a BC graduate with a podcast called Lights, Camera, Sports, had this exchange with the former Houston Texans head coach.
No doubt. Coach, wondering, do you have a message for the fans? Obviously losing to Notre Dame, Catholic school rival, 1-8 now in the season BC. I've heard from a lot of fans. They're just really down.
I'm really glad. You know, I'm glad you're down. I'm not down. Nobody's down. We're fighting. We're competing. You know, it's the second year of this program, Mike. You always come in here with these down questions. Like, you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. I don't know what year you graduated from BC, but this is a program that we're building. Okay. Nobody here's down. We're positive. We're going to show up and play our asses off against SMU. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up, and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
What's up, Trevor? What an ending. Oh, I miss Bill. I shoot him texts every now and then, and he responds still. Look, what are you supposed to say when shit's not going so well? I like that he gets pissy with media people from time to time. And I've been on not quite the other end of that, but we've had some back and forths. He's a sarcastic person from New England, as you could hear in that answer. And like me, he's got the Irish Catholic rage. It's something I think that we related on. I miss him. I actually do hope he does well at Boston College. I really do. I know some people maybe don't. You're mad about the way things ended. But, I mean, he got a couple of teams that were quarterbacked by multiple quarterbacks to the playoffs. 2014, almost. 2015, got him there. 2016 as well. I know people got annoyed. Oh, AFC South, it's a fucking shitty division. Fair. Not disagreeing with that. But he made the most out of what he could. There are definitely worse coaches that have been in charge of the Texans. Dom Capers, David Culley, Lovie Smith, you could even argue. I mean, that year with Lovie Smith was rough. But O'Brien has these moments, and I think really he does need to work on this perhaps with people that are in his immediate circle about how he handles the moments where he's angry, much like I feel the same exact way. And we've seen this before. Iconic moment from back in the day, an exchange with Brian T. Smith.
AFC South champions 2 years in a row, Brian.
Yeah, but you guys are back in the...
Doesn't matter what it looked like. Back in the playoffs. Looking forward to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Love that part. What's up, Trevor? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. And of course, there's this moment. This moment, there's really no coming back from. And I mean, he's mad, but you can't do this. This was from as he walked off the field at halftime, right? With a fan. Oh my goodness, this website's terrible.
You suck too! Hey, you suck too, motherfucker! You suck too! Fuck you! Go.
You suck too, fuck you. Good job by DeAndre Hopkins getting him out of the line of fire there. Getting him into the tunnel. We appreciate that. But that's the Bill O'Brien experience. There's a couple of videos I have with him that it would take me a lot of time to actually pull them up, but I don't know. Let's see. What do I have with Bill O'Brien? I've done this before. Let's see. It's in my drops folder. Huh. What do we have here? I'm just going to play a bunch of random clips that I have with Bill O'Brien. What do we got here?
Yeah, I don't know. Paul. If I knew, I'd definitely have the answer.
Okay. There's that. What else do we have from Bill O'Brien?
I enjoy your questions. I really do.
I enjoy your questions. Oh, that's cool. What else from Billy O'Brien?
I don't know, Paul.
I don't know, Paul. We got this.
I think you're pulling one out again, but
we got this.
You are definitely living in the hindsight world today, Paul. Huh? Appreciate it though.
Oh, Bill O'Brien. Ronnie B323 says the Texans have the Bills, Chiefs, Chargers, and Colts twice. Better luck next year. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I think the Chargers are beatable. I think the Colts are beatable. They beat the Bills last year. I don't know that the Bills are all the way back based off of like 1 week, you know? Jacob Ross says they're going to go 7-10. Junior Broncos says on TikTok, my toxic trait is that I kind of miss B.O.B. Big Ball Squad says, imagine Bill O'Brien coaching C.J. Stroud. That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny. Big Orange Network says O'Brien inherited a great team in a weak division and ran into the ground. I don't know. They were 2-14 the year before he stepped in there. They had some good players at the top of the totem pole, but there was a lot of talent missing. He came into a situation with an offensive line that was pretty mediocre. That's kind of been the entire history of the Houston Texans, no? Dead Chris Moore says, don't you think once the gray hairs started coming in, you might be a bit old for this? Shots fired. First up, I know I'm hotter than you. I know that for a fact. I just know it. So first off, let's start there. Sadly, the Gallant clan, we get gray hair early. Found this out. My sister, my mother were dyeing their hair for the longest time. Didn't tell me. But I'm not about to go fucking Ryan Day out here, you know? I don't play that shit. Au natural. Although I do take Propecia for the receding hairline. Too old for all this. What do you mean, for the content game? I am arguably the greatest talent talking about sports in Houston. I know for a fact that there is no one in Houston that has my mind. And I say that based off of no one has the weird amount of outside of sports knowledge to make references that 3 people get quite like me. That is talent. That is talent. When I've pitched myself to some of the places I'm looking to get work at, I've been like, I'm like a stupid Conan O'Brien talking sports. Just goofy, all the time. Occasionally angry. I think it's funny when I'm angry, but occasionally angry. Someone who loves to take people past the fourth wall. I want you here with me, sitting on my lap. Paul, that's the gayest thing you've said on today's show. Whatever. I want you on my lap. I'm telling you a story. I'm bouncing you on my knee like you're my grandchild. You know? Anyway, guys. Some people on the Twitch are getting mad at the people on the TikTok. I'm just a man without much of a plan. Lots of ADD tangents. A couple things before we hit the road. You might have seen on yesterday's show, I am the mayor of New York City now. Yes, I am the mayor. I'm as shocked as you guys, but that's where I was the last couple of days. Didn't do a show on Monday or Tuesday. I was busy becoming the most powerful person in local government in the biggest city in the United States of America. You know? Again, I'm super talented. Very handsome. You might have seen that by group, 84% of women from 18 to 29 voted for Zohran Mamdani. And 65% of women aged 30 to 44 voted for Zohran Mamdani. Is it because I'm so hot? I don't know. I'm just saying I'm the mayor of New York City and the ladies like me. I don't know why. I am taken, by the way. I am taken. But there was another person that I wanted to be mayor of New York City. Republican mayoral candidate Curtis, is it Sliwa? Why? Because the man loves cats. Look at this man. And President Trump's talking shit about a guy who has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got all these cats. This is the guy who should be mayor of New York City. I don't give a fuck about his policies. He has cats. Cats are the superior pet. I love dogs. Cats are easier. I can leave town. Cat stays here. Comes back. Super cuddly. Probably misses me, but not needy like a dog. Leave a couple litter boxes out. Leave enough food out. Leave the thermostat at a nice little temperature. Cats are the perfect bachelor pet. Oh, but I want a dog. Well, you better fucking train it so that you're not saying to me, oh, he never does that when it humps my leg or devours a toddler, right? So, cats, the superior pet. And I would have voted for Curtis Sliwa to be mayor. It seems the Andrew Cuomo camp not so happy about the Curtis Sliwa effect. Sorry, I'm not going to get the name right. On the actual election for mayor of New York City. In case you didn't see it, this is a message that someone in the Cuomo party sent to Curtis.
Curtis? I'll send it to him because he yelled at me today. Good. Hey, Curtis, you're a fucking scumbag like I said all along, all of these months. You fucking got 8% of the vote. You split the fucking vote for the $7 million. You were a scumbag. I hope every New Yorker spits in your fucking face every single day. You fucking sold out like fucking Judas sold out fucking Jesus for the 30 fucking coins and silver. Go fuck yourself.
How are all New Yorkers a stereotype to a T? Paul, I think he's another kind of thing. Hey, don't be racist against Italians, okay? He's part of the Cuomo, I guess, team, and he's unhappy with the result of the election. Don't assume he's Italian. That's anti-Italian discrimination, okay? But it's wild that is seemingly every single New Yorker. You fucking scumbag! You're like Judas! You're stabbing people in the back! Hey, I'm walking here! Yankees, what's going on? George Steinbrenner, hey, you gotta pick it up! Buster! Bunch of losers are in the Bronx here. Forget about it. So there you go. One last tidbit, and look, I don't exactly like some of the things that are being done by a certain government agency. There are things where I'm like, this isn't exactly as humane as it needs to be. And I saw this about a week ago, and I'm not going to lie, I had a guilty thought. Do not get mad at me. But when I saw that at IceGov posted, "Ice on the roads. We made over 120 arrests in Houston, October 29th, clearing our roads of dangerous, often unlicensed and uninsured illegal aliens who should not be behind the wheel." When I saw that, there is a part of me that was happy. Why? Because Daddy here has been hit and run by uninsured motorists, not once, but twice in this city. I do not know their citizenship status. Couldn't tell you. Could I make some guesses on one of those two accidents? Maybe. It did seem like a family was traveling in a caravan, given the amount of suitcases in the car. I was trying to drive out of my apartment complex, and this car just drove in reverse into me before leaving. We tried to get their insurance information. They had none. State Farm was unable to ever get in contact with them so that they could pay the $250 fucking dollars they were supposed to for my deductible. This is why insurance rates in Houston are ridiculous, and why you have to, if you don't get it now, this is why you have to have uninsured motorist insurance in this city, because of all the fucking Mad Max wannabes on the road who are here and probably never learned how to drive. But whatever. It's one of the two situations I had. The other person, guy clearly on drugs, they found pills in the front seat of his car. His seat was leaning back all the way, and he was wanted for another hit and run. Look, some of the things that ICE does, I don't like it. I think it's inhumane. But I see that stat, and my first thought wasn't about the inhumane nature with which they operate sometimes. It was like, fuck those people who hit and run my car. Fuck them. Fuck them with a shovel. I hate them. And I hope that they stub their toe very hard today. Very hard. I would love those $500 right now. I don't have a fucking job. Just saying. So I saw that, and I know some people aren't going to like it, but goddamn, there's so many uninsured and probably unlicensed people driving around in this city. It's why if I go any distance west of where my apartment is, there is a very, very, very fucking good chance that I'm going to get T-boned by somebody. People drive like crazy people on that side of town. So when I see that arrests are being made by people who are just being pulled over, maybe they don't have a license, is there profiling going on? I don't know. I don't know anything. All I know is there's a part of me that's like, well, maybe I won't get hit and run by somebody this year. Maybe I won't get hit and run. That's all. 10-day operation. ICE Houston arrested more than 1,500 quote, criminal aliens, gang members, foreign fugitives, and immigration offenders. Okay, I don't know if all 1,500 of them are going to actually classify as that, which again goes back to the kind of way that they're doing things. It does feel like they are going for the most bang for their buck with some of the arrests that they are making, right? You know, like posting up outside of places where immigration hearings are being had, right? 1,500. Did they cross the T's, dot the I's for all the... I wonder about that, but I don't want to get fucking hit and run by an uninsured motorist again. So, mini fist pump under the table for the arrest being made on the road. I don't hate the idea of requiring a driver's license for more than just driving a car. Maybe for voting as well. Whatever. Paul, it's so much politics. I know. I know. Anyway, guys. Omar has a comment, and he's saying this aloud.
Is the man retarded? Let me apologize for using that word. Oh. I have my first cousin. We just put him to. He died a few months ago.
That is my favorite drop. That is my favorite drop that we use on this show. And that's going to wrap up today's show. I'm off to Fredericksburg for a couple of days. Pre-recorded Gallant Says podcast will drop tomorrow around noon. I'm going to have to do some work on it tonight and tomorrow. But looking forward to it very much. There's going to be a fun little song as well. Yeah, guys, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss for me to you. Please tune in to tomorrow's pre-recorded show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live edition of the show. If you did, you can join me live weekdays at noon, occasionally after major Houston sporting events on YouTube at Paul Gallant. Like this video and subscribe. Twitch at Gallant Says. Give me a sub. X, Twitter at Gallant Says Pod. Give me a follow. Instagram at Sports Gallant. Follow me. TikTok at Gallant Says. Follow me. Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. Like my page. It's also available wherever you get your podcasts. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you roast my ass, I will read it. Friday show, noon Central Time, pre-recorded. Sean Pendergast of Payne and Pendergast going to be my guest. We had a fun draft. Sunday night, I'm on Channel 11, part of Sports Extra, at about 10 o'clock or so. Monday, I'm going to be on Sports Radio 610 with Ron Hughley from 2 to 6. So we're going to do the live stream that we will do will probably be at 7 in the morning on Monday. And I think we might go 7 in the morning all next week to see how it does viewership-wise, numbers-wise. I'm trying to figure out a better time to do it because I might have to do this early in the day so I can get a civilian job at least in the short term, if not the long term. But I appreciate all of you for joining me. Until tomorrow's pre-recorded show at noon, so long, farewell.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
And have your